So this is the Musashi Air, and it's the glass mouse pad I have been using recently. I wanted to make a kind of unbiased review on it because I only saw like one other review. So I wanted to throw a little bit more information out there after trying the pad for a while and really enjoying it. If you are looking to buy one, just a little forewarning, I got the 328th out of 500th on the December 26th or so. It is now January 8th, and somehow these are still up. So if you like the design, might be worth picking up real soon, because I'll get into it more, but I really like the performance of this, and it's been super great. So if you're worried about it on that end and you wanted just like a too long didn't watch, it's definitely a safe buy on the performance end of things. So if you like the design, there you go. So to get a little bit into the basics of performance, I wanted to go over a couple things, mainly the surface and the glide. So the glide of the pad kind of feels pretty fast. It's definitely a super fast mouse pad. Not just it being glass, but as far as I can tell, it just brutally fast. Now, the thing that makes it feel kind of controlled, along with it being fast, is at least with these Obsidian Air Pros, if you use your tension correctly, the stopping power actually feels pretty good. Going from using the Artisan Hayateatsu mid to this mouse pad, I have actually been pretty surprised that my target switching feels natural. It doesn't really feel like I need to do anything extra to like control it. Like I thought I was gonna have to employ some kind of finger dragging on the side or something along those lines to kind of get that stopping power in there, but honestly I don't really feel like I need it at the moment. It's felt pretty easy to stop the mouse when I am using my tension correctly. Now, when fights get a little crazy, I have a tendency to grip the mouse a little bit harder, a habit that I'm trying to break, which is part of the reason why I wanted a glass mouse pad, because it'll show that a lot easier. Because like if you're in game and you tense too hard, you're going to notice a lot of shakiness in your aim naturally. Being with a glass pad, it doesn't really have that burden of starting a new motion, right? Which is what I really like. Because if you can stop it, and as long as you like use your like tension release nicely, you can kind of like get that control and stop there. But you can also micro correct when it comes to those like flicks that aren't exactly perfect, because most flicks need a micro correction, right? But yeah, so really happy with the way that performs. And as far as like the textured feeling, unless I am pushing down into the mouse pad, I don't feel a lot of that texture from the mouse pad. When you are like gliding it normally with a little tension, or using little tension, it doesn't feel like there's hardly any texture feedback in there, for me at least. So to get into a little bit more specifics about performance, I wanted to start with a main category of static clicking. And this mouse pad is definitely not made for static clicking. It's not bad in static clicking. You can really perform well on anything and any task, right? But it doesn't have anything that will benefit you in that task. So my scores have pretty much remained the same. The one thing is starting the next flick over to the next target after you land on a micro correction on the other one. Both of the micro correction onto a target and the starting of the next flick after will be a lot smoother and feel more fluid. But the actual flick is a lot harder, because it's a lot harder to have that confidence in your speed to land in like a good area before the dot, right? So that it has its pros and cons, but it definitely is not meant for static, and it probably will not help you there. So now on to one of my favorite categories, dynamic clicking. Dynamic clicking, I didn't really feel a difference regardless. I feel like until you get to the higher levels of dynamic clicking, at least for me, it's more about the target reading and the nuances of that, I guess, rather than the actual ability to put the crosshair on the target for me. So I didn't feel the real benefit or real downside to using this mouse pad in there. And that opinion could change with me getting better. But at like a mid-Jade level, dynamic clicking, it didn't hurt me or help me, either one in the category. I will say that it is easier to play lower sense, and you get a little bit more crisp micro corrections. So it felt nicer on the some of the tasks, like especially the bounce shot tasks, the ones with any type of bouncing or any type of predictive aiming where you're trying to kind of catch the circles with your crosshair, essentially. That is where this mouse pad feels really, really good, because if you do miss that catch, you can kind of catch it on the downswing, if that makes sense. And it feels good on those ones. But with Pasu and stuff like that, didn't really feel like it helped me a ton. But overall, not bad, not good for dynamic clicking, and that's really not what it's made for. But I was pleasantly surprised that dynamic clicking didn't feel harder than it was before, for me at least. So I'm going to kind of lump in the tracking and reactive tracking, like smooth tracking and reactive, into kind of the same category, because Jesus, this mousepad feels so fucking good for smooth and reactive tracking. These are my two favorite categories in aim training, and a lot of the games that I play have a ton of reactive and smooth tracking in them. And it was just... as soon as I put the mouse pad on my desk, basically, was when I felt the performance increase on smooth tracking. It was so natural to pick up with this mouse pad. One thing that I will say is it does take a time period to adjust to how fucking fast you can direction change. But once you are there, and once you can make those accurate direction changes, oh my fucking god, it's so responsive. It's just so good. With both the Jades and the Obsidians, both feel amazing for tracking. I've set numerous PBs in both of my Smoothbot, my Snake Track scores. The PGT scores were the one that was the biggest, because on the XYZ, or fucking that, not YZ, Jesus Christ. But on the XY, they are the same. So when you are tracking a bot that is doing one of them fucking arcs, like PGTI or something of that nature, right? It just feels so good and so responsive and just so natural to track the bots with it. And in game, it feels the same. So if you like tracking games, you play a lot of the finals, we play a lot of Quake, you play a lot of Soldier and Overwatch. I feel like natural, I guess, to tracking with this pad. It's just like my hand and my crosshair have become one, if that makes sense. Which is a term, like a way that people describe this kind of thing a lot. But I didn't really experience that till now, so it actually really does. So the last one that I wanted to go over, the last section, is target switching. And this is my other main category that I really like to grind because it's really, really fun to play. So I noticed a few things. When I first started using this pad, I had Jade Skates, and that felt decently difficult to control for me. I would have to be much, much more conscious of my tension management. And it has helped a lot, and I have noticed that my hands and fingers are less tense and they are less strained at the end of playing those type of tasks, because I'm not putting as much strain on them, because I am forced not to. I actually cannot aim well if I do put too much grip onto the mouse. So it's a fantastic training tool at the very least, because of how fast it is. And then I got the Obsidian Air Pros, and that kind of just switched it up entirely for me. It could just be because I was playing on hard mode with the Jades or something going to the Obsidian Air Pros, but like as soon as I put these skates on and kind of broke them in a little bit, it feels so good because you can just like, it doesn't feel like you're like flicking and stopping on it feels like you're flowing through the targets. It just feels so good. Kind of like in the way that I was talking about earlier with static, but way nicer because the targets are much bigger. So like when you flick onto the target and then you change to another target, that like changing to the other target just feels so seamless. You don't have to put extra effort in. You put as much effort into that, or as much, I don't know if effort's the right word, but it put as much like sauce into the flick or whatever as you want to put in there, and you don't have to overcome that initial friction, which feels great. During aim training, it feels super, super, super nice. Now, the in-game would be the main issue for target switching. If you are seeing, I'll try to put something on the screen that kind of shows this, but when you're like kind of under a tense situation in game, when your landings on targets are going to be a lot harder to control because you don't have that ability to control your tension management in game as well as you do in the aim trainer. So it is a just pure test of how well you can manage your nerves, your tension, and etc. But I find it really fun. But I don't think it is helpful for target switching. So if you're looking to be the best target switcher possible, I don't think that glass in general is for you, but this pad wasn't bad with it. It feels pretty natural for me. So to just quickly come to a final conclusion, because I have been fucking yapping, and this video is long as shit. But the quality control was great. They sent it to me really fast. The day after I ordered it, it started shipping. Got here in like 4 to 5 days. And it just, the design is so like, it pops out so well with the black and white. The literal only thing is on this little part of this guy right here. You can't even see it on this camera. I tried to take a picture of it, and it's really, really hard to get in a clear picture. But if you look at it just the right way, in just the right light, you can see a little smudge. That is the extent of the issues with the quality control of it. So, man, just impressed as fuck by Musashi and the fact that they are not, like, this is their first glass mouse pad, and it is just so nice. So if you were thinking of buying it, like I said, it is technically still able to be purchased at the time of making this video. And honestly, if you want to take a Voltaic Jade's recommendation, you know, it's a pretty good mouse pad. I have a lot of fun playing on it. And at the end of the day, really, that's what matters, right? We play games for fun, right? You know, unless you play League of Legends.